What country is Oceania at war with?
I don't remember.
Oceania is at war with East Asia. Do you remember that now?
Yes.
How many fingers am I holding up?
5.
You see at least that it is possible. You've understood the reality of the past and of the present, Winston. Now, what of the future? The question, how does one man assert power over another?
By making him suffer.
Exactly. Obedience is not enough. Power is inflicting pain and humiliation, otherwise you cannot be sure. Power is tearing human minds apart and putting them together again in new shapes of your own choosing. Power is not a means, it is an end. In our world, there will only be triumph and self-abasement. Everything else we shall destroy. The past is forbidden. Why? Because when we can cut man from his own past, then we can cut him from his family, his children, other men. There is no loyalty except loyalty to the party. There is no love except love of Big Brother. All competing pleasures we will destroy. If you want a vision of the future, Winston, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. Winston, you are thinking that my face is old and tired. That while I talk of power, I'm unable to prevent the decay of my own body. But the individual is only a cell, Winston. And the weariness of the cell is the vigor of the organism.
You'll fail.
Why?
It's impossible. Hatred and fear have no life.
Why is hate less vital than love?
I don't know. Somehow you'll fail. Something will defeat you. Life will defeat you.
We control life at all levels. We create human nature. Men are infinitely malleable. Or perhaps you return to your old idea that the proletarians will arise. Put it out of your mind. They're helpless animals. Humanity is the party.
I don't care. In the end, they'll beat you. Sooner or later, they'll tear you to pieces.
On what evidence?
Goldstein's book.
I wrote it. Or at least I collaborated in writing it. No book is individually produced, as you know.
I just believe it. I know you'll fail. There's something in this world, some spirit that you will never overcome.
What is it, this principle?
I don't know. The spirit of man.
And do you consider yourself a man?
Yes.
If you're a man, you're the last man. Your kind is extinct. We are the inheritors. Do you understand that you're alone? You're outside history. You unexist. Get up. Come here. Look at you. You're rotting away. That is the last man. If you're human, that is humanity. It will not last forever. You can escape from it whenever you choose. Everything depends on you.
You did it. You reduced me to this.
No, Winston. You reduced yourself to it.
When will you shoot me?
It might take a long time. But don't give up hope. Everyone is cured sooner or later. And in the end, we shall shoot you. The law of gravity is nonsense. No such law exists. If I think I float, and you think I float, then it happens. I love you. You have the strength, Winston. You have the whole party. You are the party. You're one of us. One of the chosen. I love you.
I love you too.
Julia. Julia, my love. Julia.
Julia! Julia!
Get up. Stand up straighter. Look me in the face. Tell me, Winston, and remember, no lies. What are your true feelings towards Big Brother?
I hate him.
You must love him. It's not enough to obey him. You must love him. Room 101. You asked me once, Winston, what was in room 101. I told you that you knew already. Everyone knows. The thing that is in room 101 is the worst thing in the world. It goes beyond fear of pain or of death. It is unendurable, and it varies from individual to individual. It may be burial alive, or castration, or many other things. In your case, it is rats.
No. Please, what do you want me to do?
You will do what is required of you.
What is it? How can I do it if I don't know what it is?
In the proletarian areas, they will attack a baby and within 5 minutes strip it to the bone. They also attack the sick and dying. They show astonishing intelligence in knowing when a human being is helpless.
You know, I've always wanted to preach against communism, but I felt like I was out of my depth. Just like when it comes to preaching against atheism, when it comes to preaching against secular humanism, it's like you want to do it. You know it's evil, but it's so like busy that you kind of feel out of your depth to get started. Communism and socialism's like that too, but all you got to do is find the right things to bring it all together. And again, my good old friend Dr. John R. Rice got me something. I found his book called False Doctrines, and he has some chapters against communism and socialism in there. It was just really great. And so when you go to page 352, that's where he gets started, and he basically lets you know off the top that Karl Marx was the person who invented the philosophy of communism in his book, The Communist Manifesto. And this guy was an absolute bum. He didn't work a day in his life. He lived off of his family and friends, and he just sat in his room as a bum, and he never ate anything or hardly at all. I mean, he didn't have good hygiene. He would just sit there and just write philosophy and poetry all the time. One thing that he actually did was sell his soul to the devil. And he was just an absolutely deranged person, and very easily offended, and just very, obviously had some unclean spirits. So this guy, though, he was a brilliant writer, and in Germany, and in the late 19th century Germany, and he got a lot of publishing success, though. That's the thing. But he was also a bum, a starving artist, and he would just live off of people. Well, his ideas were in the Communist Manifesto, and his ideas were basically summed up into the concept of abolition of private property. Okay, let's just boil that down. That means that every person's house and car, everybody's bank account, everybody's inheritance fund, everybody's tax return goes to the government. So the government becomes a Robin Hood figure that literally robs everybody of all their belongings. Okay? And comes in and confiscates all of their belongings. Okay? And now everybody is a slave. Like the people of Israel were living as slaves in Egypt. That's exactly what happens in a communist country, under a communist government. It's exactly what happens in a socialist government, because socialism is just a lighter form of communism. It's the same concept, more or less. It's a state of slavery. Everybody is living under a powerful, tyrannical government. They have no freedom. They can't escape from the country because there's all these There's all these red tape. You can't get out of the country. The conditions get bad. The police are in your face all the time, and they're controlling your every move. They intimidate you. They bully you. They're cruel to you. They're unreasonable. They give you false accusations. They control you. And if you're a Christian, you will be tortured and possibly martyred just because you're a Christian, because it's an atheistic government. It's all about subjugating everybody's will and breaking everybody's will down like a horse so that they will serve the state, which is served by the portrait of the leader, whether it's Adolf Hitler, Mao Zedong, Vladimir Lenin, Joseph Stalin. They always have the leader as a portrait of his face because he becomes the god of the communist country. And everybody has to serve him and pray to him and sing to him. And they have to break the Christianity out of you and torture the Christianity out of you and beat the Christianity out of you. And you can't escape from the country. It is a terror. It is a nightmare. And what shocks me is that the United States knows this. We know this in the history books, that it's turned out this way in the Soviet Union. It's turned out this way in China. It's turned out this way in Czechoslovakia, Poland, and East Germany. It's turned out this way in many other South American countries like Cuba. And yet, we have had in our American history different communist groups full legal status to be able to even exist in this country, and they still exist in this country. I will name a couple of them to you. Communist Party USA, Progressive Labor Party, Revolutionary Communist Party, Socialist Workers' Party, and one that's been in the news lately, Democratic Socialists of America, DSA, is becoming more popular with Gen Z people. These groups are communist groups in the United States that want our country to become like communist Russia and communist China, so that our country can become a voice of the martyrs country that persecutes Christians and takes all of our freedoms away.
Oh, I don't want that.
So, if Mr. President, if you're hearing me, White House people, if you're hearing me, please do everything you can to snuff out these groups and
Political wise,
just get rid of these groups. These people should not have any say so in our country, because they take people's freedoms away. They are anti-American.
yeah.
That is everything that is the Constitution is about. That is tyranny.
I take it away.
These are tyrannical groups. Now, people get pulled into these groups because they get deceived by the carrot. There's a carrot of communism. It starts out in the beginning stages. They think it's going to be this utopia where there's no poor people and there's no rich people. Everybody's going to be the same. But so there's the carrot. There's this ideological carrot on one side of the fence of communism. And then once it's actually implemented and the country goes communist, then they're on the other side of the fence and they just find out that there's actually less freedom than there was before. There's more tyrannical control. There's more atheism. There's more cruelty. There's more torment. There's less freedom. It's a horrible slave-like existence. Just watch China Cry, which is a Christian movie about it. Just watch Tortured for Christ, which is a Christian movie about it. Just watch The Hiding Place, which is a Christian movie about it.
They're anti-Christ.
These are anti-Christ governments, anti-Christian governments, and they create a slave state. It's like Pharaoh and the people of Israel. It is slavery.
Yeah.
It is state slavery.
It's against people.
The only difference between this and American slavery is that the American slavery situation was where individual business owners of farms would own slaves. This means that the government owns slaves. Everybody in the country is a slave to the government. It's almost just like Egypt. It's just like Exodus. And what was God to do in Exodus? To supernaturally and divinely intervene to get them out of the country. God is against communism because God was against the Egyptian government in Exodus.
Oppression.
It's oppression.
Oppressive.
It is top-down state oppression of people so they have no freedoms whatsoever. It is a state of slavery owned by the government. Slaves are owned by the government. That's what you had. Pharaoh owned all the slaves. And then God intervenes through Moses to deliver them out of the country. They had to leave the country as the only way they could be free. Communism does that to people. Communism takes away their independence, their liberty, their freedom, their private property, their hard-earned money. It takes it all away from them. They don't have the ability to go anywhere. Because you have no travel money. If they take your money away, you can't go anywhere. You're living hand to mouth all the time. It's a state of poverty and it's a state of slavery. In 2 Corinthians 3:17 says, the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom.
Yes.
Well, communism is not of the Spirit of the Lord because communism is atheism, it's antichrist, it's voice of the martyrs. It turns our country into a bloodbath for Christians. It's terrible.
It is terrible.
But this becomes the smoke screen. It's the abolition of property in land and application of all rents of land to public purposes, Karl Marx said. It creates a heavy progressive graduated income tax so the government starts to have more power. It abolishes all right of inheritance. So there's nobody, it sounds like, there's going to be no rich and no poor. Nobody will ever have to be jealous of anybody, of having more than others, because the government's going to, quote, confiscate all the property of all the immigrants and rebels and give it to the state. They're going to centralize into a state bank. There's no Bank of America. There's no BB&T. There's no regions. It's just a United States bank. That's it. That's all it would be. And free education for all children in public schools. Well, that sounds nice. We already got that one going, which is why we have evolution in our public schools, which is part of the communist worldview. Evolution. It's part of the communist worldview. It's part of brainwashing people into a communist worldview. Karl Marx said, the abolition of this state of things is called by the bourgeoisie the abolition of individuality and freedom. And rightly so. Yeah, he's like, let's get rid of freedom. That sounds like a really great idea. Man, what a demonic man. Completely just absolutely demon-possessed and perverted in the way he thought. And of course, another thing that Karl Marx said, he said abolition of the family. Well, we've got these democratic socialist people saying this on the news right now. Abolition of the family. They're literally saying what Karl Marx said. Why don't they arrest these people? Why don't they arrest these people? Bernie Sanders was part of that group. Alexandria Cortez, she's actually in the government. She's part of that group. Why don't they just arrest these people? Don't they understand that they would like this to be like communist China and persecute Christians?
Like treason.
These people are literally
Rebels.
Seditionists.
Yeah.
This is not freedom of thought. This is sedition. This is really, really bad. Like, these people should not even be allowed to speak in this country because all their ideas are based off of getting rid of free speech.
Right.
That's why they shoot people like Charlie Kirk. Their whole idea is about literally taking a communist concept and creating a yoke of slavery on the country. They want to create slavery on the country because they think that's the best way to produce order, which is part of the siren song of communism. It makes people feel like it's going to create this utopia, and it ends up in total deprivation of all personal freedom. And it creates masters over slaves. It creates compulsory and involuntary labor, Concentration camps, in other words, in Russia, in China, and in Germany. That's what concentration camps are about. You want to have some concentration camps, Antifa people? You want to have some concentration camps? Democratic Socialist Gen Zers? You kids don't even know what you're doing. You don't even know what you're talking about. Break the will of the doctor and the lawyer so that they work in a concentration camp, bashing rocks to break their will into a slave. Oh, it's not going to turn into that. Yes, it will. And it always turns into that. It always turns into breaking people's will and controlling people like a slave. These people are foolish. Foolish. Michael Harrington was the founder of the Democratic Socialists of America group. He was a backslider. He used to be a Catholic and he became an atheist. So an atheist founded this group, and these people are atheists and they're anti-Christian. Workers of the world unite, more like slaves of the world unite. You'll be slaves. These people should be arrested. This group should be shut down. Democratic Socialists of America, they should not be even allowed. They're going to try to enslave people. And according to CBN, 75% of Gen Z agrees with this concept of democratic socialism.
That's bad.
Galatians 5:1 says, "For freedom Christ has set us free. Stand firm, therefore, and do not submit again to a yoke of slavery. If the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed." John 8:36. And let's also not forget the movie The Ten Commandments, where God raised up a prophet named Moses to deliver people out of the country where such communistic slavery existed, in the land of Goshen.
Their food portion was controlled.
Yeah, go ahead, talk.
Their food portion was controlled by Pharaoh and the Egyptians. Their labor. They were persecuted for worshiping God. And it says that he would just make their yoke harder and demand the equal amount of, what do you call that? You have to do the same amount of bricks with less straw.
Yeah, tyrannical control of labor forces. God's plan for work is in Exodus 20, verse 9. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work. And that's not working for the government. That's working in an individual business that you yourself have for your family, serving your customers in a farm or in livestock trading, or as a laborer underneath an employee. And so a worker is worthy of his wages, the Bible says, but not through a communistic Book of Exodus type scenario where the Pharaoh is controlling the masses like slaves. And that's what you have with communism, whether it's Lenin or Stalin or Mao Zedong or Hitler. Communism, socialism, just different sides of the same coin of Karl Marx. It's all the same ideology. Mussolini, Hitler, Stalin, Lenin, Mao Zedong, it all is part of the same ideology of the Communist Manifesto. The concept of everybody in the country becomes a slave to one single totalitarian leader. It's no different than Pharaoh and the slaves in the book of Exodus. It's absolutely the same. It's just taking on a different form of philosophy. Here, just to make sure that, just to let you know, if you're stuck into these ideas, that I know what I'm talking about. I asked ChatGPT to break these ideas down for me, okay? I do know what I'm talking about. It's abolition of private property. It's trying to get rid of the rich and the poor, okay? It tells people that the common man is in charge, when in actuality, there's one single totalitarian tyrant at the top. It says that you're going to have a classless society, but the reality is, Animal Farm came to show us, that you always have these totalitarian, cruel dictators at the top. It's not a classless society. You have kings at the top, is what you got, and slaves at the bottom. It's a two-class society. Communism is a two-class society. Socialism is a two-class society. You have a king at the top who's a tyrant and is cruel and atheistic, and everybody else is a slave. So you think I know what I'm talking about? I know what I'm talking about. This stuff's foolishness. It's been proven over and over and over in the past 200 years to be absolutely cruel, absolutely destructive of personal freedom. And this is a real threat now. Like, I never thought that I would have to preach against this. But this is becoming a real threat with this Democratic Socialist America group. And we need to really try to be on top, because this stuff killed Charlie Kirk. This stuff is real, and this stuff needs to be shot down. If not with words, then with military force. This stuff's dangerous. There was a group that appeared on college campuses in the 60s that it brainwashed a girl. And this stuff is in these public schools. The public schools and the state universities are the indoctrination centers of communist professors. And it has always been, it's been this way since the 1960s and before that, which is why we need to stick to Christian education. Yeah. Here, both communism and socialism teach that the government owns everything. Houses, cars, bank accounts, everything. Clothes, everything. Stores, everything. Dentists, doctors, it's all owned by the government. You can never have your own business, and you can never work for your own boss. And if you have a job, you can never leave it. If you got a bad manager that's cruel and is mean, you can never leave, because you are a slave. There's no future for you. If you are working in a communist country, you can't get out. You can't even get out and die trying. You'd have to be teleported by God. What are your thoughts?
It would be like Exodus. It would be like the Exodus all over again. It would be like the book of Exodus in the Old Testament. That's what it sounds like to me. Having to let the Hebrews get set free by Moses to leave Egypt and to totally wander around the desert till they get to the promised land.
Christians that live in communist countries have to have house churches. And even then, they live in constant fear that they're going to be arrested, thrown in prison, tortured, and killed. And what happened to Watchman Nee in communist China? He died with his hands being cut off, being raised to God, dying and praising God with his hands bleeding.
Well, his arms getting cut off.
Communism and socialism are the same. Don't let anybody tell you and go off in some rant, some philosophical rant. They're the same. It's atheistic slavery. You have no freedom. You can't leave. You can't leave your bad job. Under capitalism, you can say, I'm going to take this job and shove it. In communism, you're a slave. You can't go anywhere. If you have a bad manager in capitalism, see ya. In communism, if you have a bad manager, you're stuck. You're stuck. You can't leave.
And you're bound to that employer. There's no future for you, and you would probably have to try to leave the country.
Absolutely. Leaving the country is the only way you could ever hope for financial growth for your family, and it's the only way that you could ever hope to live in safety as a Christian, because there is Christian persecution, because the whole concept is live in an atheistic environment.
Sad. It doesn't have to be like that. While we have a chance, we have to fight for capitalism to the extent that we can in Christ. I mean,
unfortunately, communism is an atheistic reaction to atheistic capitalism. Atheistic capitalism is what you got with Andrew Carnegie. You got that social Darwinism of survival of the fittest garbage. Well, Karl Marx was an atheist and probably a Satanist, something like Anton LaVey. Very similar. Kind of like an atheistic Satanist. And, I mean, just wicked. Just absolutely wicked and demon-possessed. Don't listen to Karl Marx. To read him is literally almost like reading the Satanic Bible. It's wickedness. It's absolute wickedness.
Bad. I haven't read it. I have not read it.
Abolition of the family. I mean, this is what Karl Marx said. Abolition of the family. I mean, the family unit is central to the Bible, all throughout.
No wonder China is huge on dynasty and family, and look what happened. Look at their history.
I mean, it's just an absolute miserable thing. Watch the Christian movie China Cry, because
Yeah.
the moment that they escape from China and get into Hong Kong, they do music at the end of the movie, and it goes dun dun dun. I escaped from China. The end.
Yeah, China cry, as in cry, I'm in China, get me out of there.